You're listening to Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on 97.3 ESPN FM. Brought to you by Utch's Bait and Tackle Shop. They know the fishing hotspots. Utch's Marina, your home away from home at the foot of the bridge in Cape May. By Absecon Bay Sportsman Center. Everything you need to make the catch of a lifetime. Live, fresh, and frozen bait, rods and reels, and everything in between. By Cigars in Rio Grande for all your cigars, tobacco, and smoking accessories. Cigars in the Joe Canal Shopping Center on Route 47, Rio Grande. For the serious cigar smoker. By Bob's Little Sports Shop, your place for firearms, archery, and accessories on Delsey Drive in Glassboro and at bobslittlesport.shop.com. And by Bait and Hook, Delsey Drive in Franklinville. Now in their brand new location, carrying all your fishing, hunting, camping, and boating supplies. Go to baitandhook.net to check out their inventory. Bait and Hook in Franklinville. For fishermen, by fishermen. More Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. coming up on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Rack and Fin Radio on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Welcome back to Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. 97.3 ESPN FM. Listen, taking a little break from catching Kobe and hammerheads and all that good stuff and doing some bluefish stuff and triggerfish stuff up at the inlet. Speaking of triggerfish, we're going to get into that in a second. We took a break. We understand that the Royals, a.k.a. the kingfish, down south they're known as whiting. Well, these are the northern kingfish, are all over the beaches and the bays, and they have been for about the past month. It's been, what do they say, biblical, epic, etc., whatever you want to say, filling buckets, filling bushels, filling coolers. It's been crazy. And what's the top bait? What is the top bait? People say, oh, you can use some squid, you can use some clam, but to a tackle shop, to probably 5 out of every 6 anglers we talk to in between filling buckets, filling coolers, filling sacks, and filling whatever, the term fish bites. Hey, remember fish bites? Remember way back when, was it 4 or 5, 6 years ago when bloodworms were in critically short supply because I say that it was the worm diggers up there in Maine and New England went on strike. But anyway, they were $14, $15, $16 a dozen in some cases. The late, great Billy Nickerson. Hey, Doc, I miss you, man. We all miss you down there at Fanatics. I walk in the shop because the white perch bite is furious. Best eating fish going in for, well, you know, I say that about perch, then I say that about kingfish, I say that about, anyway, Tom P., try some of these. So, Billy, what the hell's that? What are fish bites? He said, oh, you can read. I said, yeah, what are these? These look like pink linguine, like linguine dipped in a rosa sauce. What are these? He said, we can't keep them on the shelves. He said, we got a couple of dozen in, gave them to some guys that can't get the bloodworms, and they are knocking the snot out of perch. Really? Then it come to find out they're knocking the snot out of the stripers. In Great Bay, down there by the Beasley's Point power plant, all the way down to Cape May and points beyond, above and below. Fish bites are back. They are back big time. On the list right now is Mike Carr. He's the vice president of advertising and marketing and co-owner of Carr Specialty Baits, a.k.a., as everyone knows, as Fish Bites. He's been a guest on Rack and Fin Radio before. The guy's enthusiasm is unbounded, especially when it comes to talking about his baits and how they are doing the whomper stomper on not only kingfish, listeners. We waxed the triggerfish on them of the South Jetty at Barnegat. Mikey, how you doing, man?
Tom P., how's it going?
Well, I'm a fish bite addict all over again, Mike. I rediscovered the furious, fantastic results of the fish bites. What do you call them? A bloodworm alternative, whatever you call them, Mike. They are just, again, filling buckets, filling sacks, filling coolers, filling bushel baskets. Tell us about this bait. No, first of all, where the hell you guys been the past couple of years?
Oh, we've been here. We've never gone anywhere. You know, that whole thing with the economy kind of put everybody in a foxhole for a little while. But like you said, we are back with a vengeance. I mean, you know it's busy when I'm taking boxes home to label bags in my house. You know things are often when that's happening.
Well, Mike, you are indeed a hands-on company, and all the boys and girls in there are avid anglers. But, Mike, now you had for a while the fish bites ruled. I mean, that was it. And justifiably so, the bloodworm sales went in the toilet. La, 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 la. Fish bites were just unbelievable. But, Mike, fish, but you look at it, and again, like I said, it looks like a piece of linguine that's tinted pink, and you stick it on a hook, and whatever is down there, Mike. Now, also, listeners, sea bass, croakers, everything bites these things. Mike, again, naturally, don't give away any secrets, of course, but what is the principle behind the fish bites itself? What is it?
The best way to think about fish bite is to think of it like fruit roll-ups for fish. I say that because, you know, you look at a fruit roll-up, no disparaging the company, but there's no real fruit in it. but when you taste it, it tastes like strawberry. Well, they do that because they basically chemically reconstitute a strawberry from all the chemicals that are in a strawberry that you taste that make it taste like a strawberry. Fast forward to Fishbites. My dad was a marine biologist for years, and his field of study was something very complicated called chemoreception in marine species, basically figuring out how they smell and taste things in the water. Well, to do that, you have to grind up shrimps and crabs and clams and squids and then have them chemically analyzed. And once you figure out the magic 50 or 60 ingredients that tell a fish, hey, this is a crab or a clam or a squid or a bloodworm, you can go and buy those individual components and mix them into a gel, and bang, you've got a fish bite.
But let me tell you, but it's not real. It's real, but it's not real.
That's correct.
But the results.
That's why I use the fruit roll-up analogy.
But Mike,
it's real, but it ain't real.
What I'm saying, but the reality is these things really, really, really work. Now they're adhered. Now let's just talk about again the bloodworm alternative. I know you have the paddle baits and the shrimp, which by the way kicked some serious ass for us a little bit farther south of here. But Mike, so they're these strands are in a bag. Okay, let's imagine a shoelace or pink linguine, like I'm Italian. Come on, pink linguine. How is it held together? And after you hear how it's held together, Mike, I want to tell you a little story about it, but go ahead. How's this stuff stuck and sticks to the hook? What do you got?
Well, basically, once we make the gel, we put it under a giant press, and there's a layer of cloth that's in the middle of the gel. If you look at a profile of the bait, you'll see this little white line in it. Well, that's actually a layer of cloth. So when you put your hook through that cloth, it's going to take something big to yank it off. So most people end up with just those little tiny pieces of cloth, which you can either just slide at the shank of your hook, or if you've got a cigarette lighter handy, bang, you just melt them right off. They literally evaporate with a flash fry from your Bic lighter. So that's basically it. It's a food grade gel. It's Fishbites baits. They're all biodegradable. They're environmentally friendly. So if you're throwing pieces of things back in the water, that stuff's just going to eventually totally biodegrade.
Well, Mike, let me get to this cloth for a second. Listen, to me, it's more like a mesh, and the fish bites had melted. If we probably caught, 30, 40 kingfish maybe, and we're getting these strips down. And then I said, I can't believe it. They're biting the cloth. Mike, there was no more gel or meat, so to speak, whatever you want to call it, on that, and the kingfish was still biting. I said, I remember that over there by the Beasley's Pouring Power Plant. The white perch, we couldn't keep them off the hook, and we were out of them. We were just fishing with the cloth.
Well, I've heard that story, too. There's got to be something on there. Either that or those fish are really, really hungry.
Joining us
but normally, there's little bits of gel left in the crevices. But, I've heard this story, too, where people have just gone and fished with the cloth and they catch things. And I'm like, well, that seems a little odd. But, anything's possible. When the fish are hungry, man, and you're in them at the right time. Oh, my.
Mike, that was
you got fish bites going on, and you're going to have a busy day.
That was it. Joining us on the line today is Mike Carr. He's co-owner of Carr Specialty Baits, also VP of Advertising and Marketing. Topic is the resurgence, the return with a vengeance of fish bites. Listen, in case you aren't aware, or you've been living on Mars or your head's been somewhere, these things are just decimating the weakfish, not the weakfish, up in Barnegat Bay, they're catching the weakfish. The kingfish, the triggerfish up on the jetty, the sea bass, croakers, everything is biting these. And Mike, now we were up at the jetty last August, late August, early September, lovely Denise Marie and I, and we're trying some clams, and we're getting some little things here, little things. I pull out of my bag a bag of the fish bites. I said, oh man, let me try these. About 5 triggerfish later, up to 3.5 pounds, Denise Marie says, what is this stuff? And I gave her a little background. She says, wow, this stuff really kicks ass. And Mike, I have to send you the photo. I have about a 3.5 pound trigger with your fish bites tucked right inside there on a jetty rock. It was unbelievable. Again, working on things, it was really designed to catch fish, but you would think wouldn't work. Kingfish eat mussels and crabs and little lobsters and barnacles. Fish bites, they were all over it.
Well, that's why we make a variety of flavors. I wasn't sure, I don't know what you were using, but, we have
the linguine.
Of course, is very, very popular up there. But we make a shrimp and a crab and a clam and squid. And, people that are used to using these things should give our other flavors a shot. Because for triggerfish, we've got a killer bait for triggerfish because they're not going to steal it. If you give them enough real estate on the end of the hook, they'll eventually pop it off because that's what they're designed to do. But most times you'll hook them up. They won't steal the bait.
Okay, Mike, let's get into some of these other incredible baits you have. Again, everyone now, for example, I want to mention the shop there on LBI. I called up, how's it going, man? Oh, Jesus, the kingfish, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, fish bites, of course. I said, well, listen, put a couple of bags aside first of all. I'll pay you when I get down there. The kid says, what, are you porking me? Are you kidding? We don't have any left. We're expecting an order for 3 days. We're going crazy. I said, well, I'm going to have the guy on the show. Ask him where the hell the baits are. So, Mike, you got some answering to do here, bud.
I know. I'm expecting to hear that the next trade show I do up there. Yeah, we've been working Saturdays, man. The whole crew, the Fishbites crew is in it. I mean, everyone's working really hard to get this stuff out the door. And, this year has just been steadily busier. And, like I said, I'm bringing boxes of bags home and putting labels on them in my house, while I'm eating my pizza.
Is that right now? Is Mike Carr, VP of Advertising and Marketing, also co-owner of Carr Specialty Baits down here, and you're still in St. Augustine, correct?
Oh, yes.
Beautiful.
We're in St. Augustine, Florida, and the other cool thing about Fishbites is it's made in America. There's no Chinese imports here. Everything is made from the ground up right here in St. Augustine, Florida. No, you are not helping the economies of any other country but our own.
This is great. Mike, listen to the other forms now, your shrimp especially and your paddle tail. The paddle tail, we did very well with some big fluke, some stripers. The shrimp also flukes, stripers. Well, bluefish kept nipping off the tail, so I put a little stinger hook on there. Got the little bastards. But, Mike, now when you're tailoring it, is there, again, like the bloodworm, is there a fish bites that, like we've been using, I'm finding, pretty much catches everything? Why, when you saw that, did you break it down to this scent, this scent, this scent, this scent, this scent? Is there really that much room for all those SKUs?
Absolutely. In fact, when we first came out, the first year we launched Fishbites, there were 4 SKUs in one color. And basically it was, one triangle that was just flat white, another triangle that had a little bit of glitter in it that had a weird tail shape, and another larger triangle. So it was, and another bait that was like a rectangle. And that was it. We launched with 4 SKUs, and it was immediate that, when those started taking off, it was the customers and the bait shop owners that said, listen, I need some more varieties. Down here in the southeast, especially Florida, there's a fish called pompano. And the pompano guys wanted orange. And the Texas guys wanted pink and green. And so it just, you just follow the flow. When people are leading you down that way, and they say they want to use these things, especially if they want to match the colors with their rigs, then, you go along. I mean, why fight it? If they're ready to buy it, you should make it. And many fish have very good eyesight, and these things do matter.
Well, Mike, I remember several years ago on a long range, for lack of a better term, not like the crazy things I did out there in San Diego on a long range, these I should say full day sea bass trips. Out of some cold, deep water out there in January, February, back when, but we're going to get pulverized. This is a little non sequitur on the sea bass season next year, listeners coming up, because Massachusetts went something like 800% over expected quota, but that's neither here nor there right now. But Mike, now Fishbites has, we use them and they work fine. You described to me way back when a warm weather formula and a cold weather formula. Besides the obvious cold, warm, what are the differences here?
Well, we've actually changed that. If you, I'm sure most of the bait shops there probably you see a blue bag of Fishbites and a red bag of Fishbites.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the blue bag is, that was the formula that, we started with. We used to call it warm water because it was designed to last longer as the water temperatures increased. The cold water formula, the gel was designed softer so that when it went into cooler water, this is just a matter of physics. Kind of like they used to have warm water and cold water in laundry detergent.
Right.
Because they had to make it dissolve in water and in cooler water. So the same trick here is when you put things in colder water, they tend to act slower. So you do things to make them act faster. So instead of keeping that cold water and warm water, which was really confusing to the market, we just decided to go with fast acting and longer lasting and let people decide which one they like best.
Well, Mike, I'll tell you, it's just been not a home run, Chief, a base cleaner, a grand slam. You're just closing it out here. Congratulations. Glad to see the company is back. And again, you never left. Listeners, Fishbites was always around, but again, the economy, and I'll tell you, Mike, the paucity of kingfish and any significant numbers the past several years may have had something to do with it. The white perch have been steady. Worms were available, so people went with that. They didn't see the Fishbites around. Now, Mike, you can't keep them on the pegboards. You can't keep them in the counter displays. It's just been unbelievable. And again, congratulations. As always, Fishbites rocks, man.
Yeah, and I want to invite people to make sure they check out our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Fishbites. Go on there, put your pictures up, tell your stories. We'd love to hear from you. And, yeah, man, we totally love New Jersey.
Well, Mike, listen, we just had the recently completed ICAST, 2013, this stuff's already for 2014 already in the pipeline pretty much. The future for Fishbites, without giving it away, give us some hints on what's coming up this coming spring.
Our plan is for 2013 to be our relaunch of everything. Because, like I said, when the economy did its thing, we kind of hunkered down and just chilled out and, waited for this storm to blow over. 2013, with this year and last year being the way they were, 2013, we're going to get back in the game. We're going to come out with some new products, some new shapes. I'm hoping that we're going to have a lot of surprises for our fans and to create some new ones. And, so I would just say, everyone, wait around. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, my God, listen. And Mike, he's the whirling dervish, man. He is the maniac on two legs. When he says it, I say, Mike, again, congratulations. Best to all the crew and best to your dad. You take care.
All right, take it easy, Tom P.
We'll see you, brother.
Bye-bye.
Mike, the Fishbites are back. Listen, I just had to put it out there. I called, in fact, not one, not two, not three, but 4 shops. Same thing. Guys, if you have any Fishbites, hey, we're going to be up there. Want to get in this, want to get in on that. Are you kidding me? There's no Fishbites left. Mikey, get on the stick, man. Oh, these Fishbites are hot. They're back. And when it comes to kingfish, that's what we're doing. For example, between the BI and BB buoys up there in Barnegat Bay, you have to use squid and clam for the blowfish, for the croakers, for the kings. Well, you can chum, absolutely gets them in. Clam, squid, funk that. No. The Fishbites. You catch 10, 20 fish per piece before you have to change it. Oh, wow. Right now, the fishing is incredible. Too much to do. Tom P., Rack and Fin Radio.
You're listening to Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on 97.3 ESPN FM. Brought to you by Utch's Bait and Tackle Shop. They know the fishing hotspots. Utch's Marina, your home away from home at the foot of the bridge in Cape May. By Absecon Bay Sportsman Center. Everything you need to make the catch of a lifetime. Live, fresh, and frozen bait, rods and reels, and everything in between. By Cigars in Rio Grande for all your cigars, tobacco, and smoking accessories. Cigars in the Joe Canal Shopping Center on Route 47 in Rio Grande. For the serious cigar smoker. By Bob's Little Sports Shop, your place for firearms, archery, and accessories on Delsey Drive in Glassboro and at bobslittlesport.shop.com. And by Bait and Hook, Delsey Drive in Franklinville. Now in their brand new location, carrying all your fishing, hunting, camping, and boating supplies. Go to baitandhook.net to check out their inventory. Bait and Hook in Franklinville for fishermen by fishermen. More Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. coming up on 97.3 ESPN FM.